Hello everybody, welcome back to Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. This is going to be another little retrospective video. This time we're going to approach from a completely different angle to look at Frank's story. At the end of the last part, we got up to the windmill and there was nothing there, and I thought that there should have been something there. Of course there should have been something there. I missed out quite a lot of Frank's story, and at first I thought that the reason I didn't get a Frank's ending was because I'd sort of accessed Lizzie before we sort of reached the thing, but I actually missed out an awful lot of Frank's story.
I messed up, Frank.
Farm was a really big place, and I just missed.
Some folk won't let go, Reese, and they've got
I missed too much of it, essentially. So we're going to go through it together. I'm going to stay on commentary this time so that we can see it all together. And I will show you all that Frank had to offer.
Yeah, well, she's not exactly honest with her husband about what she gets up to.
None of that. You're angry about people judging you. Don't be so fast to judge others.
I'm sorry, Frank.
Keep your gob shut, your nose clean, and your head down. Do you think you can manage that?
Gob, nose, head. Got it.
And steer clear of that Rachel girl. If I've seen you two making eyes at each other, then so's her dad. And you don't want Sam Baker coming round after you. Now, pass me that socket spanner and we'll see if we can get this wheel back on.
Okay, so we'd seen that scenario before. I went back that way and explored from that side, but Frank's light trail actually heads up here, over this stile, along the public footpath. I was told by Barry that I need to make it perfectly clear that those are stiles, and they're not fences, you don't hop over them. We are British, we have to get it right. For the sake of, clarity and being quintessentially English, which the game totally is. So yeah, I missed this area here completely, and quite a few key scenes which express a lot about Frank. Frank's story is pretty awesome, actually.
Can you see the observatory from there?
That's over the ridge, just past the windmill. You want to live near the station in case you need a quick getaway?
Something like that. So you and Steven, I'm sensing there's not a lot of love lost there, huh?
That's between him, me, and the cows.
You're gonna have to explain that one for me.
It's nobody else's business. Look, you seem all right to me. You don't want to worry about that lot in the village.
Provided I'm left alone, I'm happy. Steven's the one who likes to be at the center of things.
No change there, then.
Francis Appleton. You are a bad man. No wonder your sister won't talk to you.
I love that little scene, and I have to admit I was gutted I missed it the first time around. I really wanted to share at least that one with you as well, because it really goes to show that Kate, although she was very much the outsider, she's not completely alone. There was someone that she had quite, not necessarily a close bond to, but somebody that she got along with quite well, and that was Frank. I just love that little scene. There's little bottles of gin lying around there. I thought that Kate would go down to the farm and sit around the tree with Frank and get drunk. It's really neat. So yeah, as you can see just from looking around here, how enormous the farm is. There are so many aspects to it in so many different areas. It's not surprising that I missed such huge chunks of Frank's story, but it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Frank is all the way over there.
Under the microscope, you could see how the light was following the cellular structure of its wings. The neural simplicity of the insects seems to prevent a full-blown infestation, so there's none of the hemorrhaging I'm seeing in the birds. But Stephen's wrong. This isn't an attack. It's a byproduct of the attempt to communicate. It's getting smarter. It's learning as it adapts. I'm confident of a breakthrough soon.
Yeah. There were a few little things in other people's scenarios that I missed. I didn't really pick up on until later on, such as Wendy with her birds, and that the birds were all dying. Kate just touched on it a little bit there. I think at some point I'm gonna have to do a proper retrospective playthrough of this game. For now, we are concentrating upon Frank's story so that you can see what we missed. We are right there by the Lawton Pond in Tipworth Forest. Frank is hanging around by that little caravan over there. It's absolutely gorgeous area. It's so beautiful and so peaceful and serene. It's, place you imagine that Frank and his Mary would have been quite peaceful. Right, I imagine it would be quite easy to miss this one. You actually have to go inside of this little caravan to get it.
Breaker 9, call in on 9. This is Lost Cowboy looking for anyone out there. Hello? Breaker 19. Breaker Travelin Sherlock. Charlie, you out there? Over. Hello?
My family, my wife and kids. You know perfectly well what you've got to do. I can't do it. Don't ask me to do it. You're asking me to sign their death warrant. My own family.
Damn it, don't you think I'm aware of that? I'll still be here when you drop the fucking stuff.
No.
Don't you lecture me about sacrifice, you
stupid bastards!
If you're so full of ideas, you come here and try dealing with it. Tell them the time when we had a choice is over. Tell them to do it. You've got to do it now.
Well, which gives a little bit of an insight into why Frank was so angry with Stephen. Yeah. There was a scene just before we got up to the windmill between Stephen and Frank, and I think that scene explains that in a lot more clarity. Pretty heavy stuff. Gorgeous blue flowers. Actual bluebells. See the structure. This game blows me away. It really, really does. It's so impressive. Beautifully done. This area is quite new to me and fresh. I feel myself getting all drawn in again.
You knew.
It's incredible.
Wade called me in about 6 weeks after, once he thought I could cope with knowing. Can I ever repay you for what you did?
She was a good woman, Frank.
The best.
You should come back to church. Back to the community. You're missed.
I hate him, Father. I can't get down on my knees and pretend otherwise. And I don't understand why you don't hate him too.
I try my hardest not to, Frank. Goes against the job description somewhat. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for. The conviction of things not seen. We have to trust him, even when his methods are hidden from view. Maybe see you on Sunday.
That's really touching. Oh, I can feel myself getting all emotional again. I think that was one aspect of closure that I felt I really did miss through Jeremy's story and going into Frank's story. You know, I wanted to know more about his relationship with Mary, whether he knew what happened with Jeremy, and getting to see that you can see why Jeremy was so okay with what he had done. You know, he was at ease with it, even though it goes in complete odds against you know, his character and who he should be, you know, his faith. To even have, you know, Mary's husband say, you know, thank you for what you did. It's a huge scene, huge moment. This game has a way of getting me very, very emotionally. It gets me right in the chest in several places. It really does. And you will be along to see the entirety of that throughout the whole of this playthrough. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, because I am recording this retrospectively, but there will be laughter and there will be tears. That's all I have to say.
I hung up on Stephen. He doesn't understand. Even if he were here to experience it directly, I'm still not sure he would. There has to be a way of consolidating, of offering reciprocal amplification to the signal.
I'm still quite torn about Kate. It's tricky because I feel like I want to speak about her, but at this point I'm not sure whether I'm speaking from a place of further knowledge than I should have at this point in the game, so I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself. That's why I think it will be a good idea, I think, at some point to do a retrospective look at things. Frank's down here. It's funny when you play games, this game, playing it through the first time, and my assumptions, my thoughts of various things, and then having hindsight to such a different perspective. But again, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
The radio telescope in Tower 6 is burned out. The background radiation coming in from the Penrose region is off the scale. It's like mathematics is bending along with the light. Everything is bathed in a strange glow. My face is still numb from the burn.
One thing that I know that I didn't do and didn't show you, I commented on the sheets blowing in the wind, I think back in the village, but Barry told me that I was remiss because I didn't do this. Yeah, they have, look at that physics. Isn't that incredible? I'm sorry, yeah, that is incredible. That is some feat of gaming when you have a sheet blowing in the wind like that and it looks so good as it is, and you can literally walk through it and have the sheet drape over you and flick off you like that. I'm impressed. Okay. I am impressed. Okay, that's upstairs. We'll go up there in a moment. I just want to have a little look through here, make sure there wasn't anything that I missed. Washing machine of the day, these books are part of a collectible thing that you can get for trophies. I'm not entirely sure where they all are either. It's been there's a lot of things in this game that I really need to go back and, or would like to go back and explore. Stairs.
How's your sister, Frank?
We've not spoken since the funeral.
Ah, I see. Well, listen, I did rather wonder if you might do me a bit of a favor and check in on her, see if she's all right.
Dr. Wade, if they dropped the bomb, there'd be no left but cockroaches and Wendy Boyles.
It's a bit odd, really. There's an old chap, John Coles, regular visitor at Lakeside, went walkabout sometime last night. Now it appears Mrs. Boughton has done the same.
Enid? Well, that'd be clever. They amputated her leg last spring.
Yes, that's the thing. I've also got a surgery full of people with nosebleeds and headaches. The council are saying influenza, but I've been practicing for 35 years and I'm not convinced. I just wondered if you might pop by and see her.
Even if I did, do you really think she'd let me in?
Fine. Forget it. I'll see her. Leave it to me. Oh, and Frank, call the hospital and get them to collect all this stuff. It's been 8 months.
Wow. Insight into how well Frank coped with the loss of Mary. It's just clearly her room. Fitted out for somebody who is terminally ill. It's definitely a hospice sort of setup. Not really seeing there. Lots of pills and medicine. Cross. Mary was a woman of faith, it would seem. Okay, Frank is outside waiting for us. He's out the back, which is through this way. Showing us the way to go. So we hopefully don't get too turned around and miss him. One thing is a very evident state of dishevelment. It's pretty much apparent. Very atypical, I would think, of a man who's of a certain age and who has lost his wife. Having to look after and fend for himself when he's never really had to before. The little things I think says more about Frank around his environment than his actions or his words, his interactions with other people could ever say. Not handle his grief in the most productive, let's say.
Can't just stop the train, stop people travelling about the place. I don't like it, Frank. I don't like it at all.
Well, nobody likes it. No sense sweating cobs over it.
Folk all riled about it, giving me grief. I didn't stop the bloody trains, did I? And did they give me any warning? No, they bloody didn't. Yesterday, it's all like keep 'em calm, Howard, minor disruptions, and today it's all government edicts and not until further notice, and you'll manage. Half the village has vanished.
It's a couple of people, it's hardly half the village.
Oh, right now. You forget I've seen things. I was in the Falklands. I tell you, I got out the old air raid siren to test it this morning.
Air raid siren. What on earth are you going to do with one of those?
I found it in the station storeroom. Took it home, stuck it under the bed. Thought it might be worth something one day. Oh, damn it.
It's all right. It's just a nosebleed. Here, use my Yankee. It's clean.
Oh, thanks, Frank, thanks. Been getting like a bloody drain all day.
There we go. Wow. Where are we going, Frank? Show us the way. We're leading on towards a point where I started to see things up here. Yeah, I walking around and following Frank's light trail, I have no idea how I missed so much, but I really did. I missed an absolute ton.
Now, Miss Graham,
Morning, Frank.
you look a little out of breath. What's up?
Bloody observatory gates have failed. I came to see if I could borrow a ladder.
Bloody hell, there's a 12-foot drop the other side of that wall.
I'm old, but I'm not useless. Now, can I borrow the ladder?
No one said you were useless. Reese?
Hi, Frank.
Fetch Graham the ladder, will you, lad? It's round the side of the barn.
Will do.
And you be careful. I don't want Stephen Appleton coming mithering round here because you've broken your neck.
Somehow I don't think Stephen Appleton would care that much if Graham broke his neck, which is a sad state of affairs. See, I cut straight across there to the shed over that way. There is another scene along here.
Hi! I want to word with you!
Jesus, what the bloody hell are we doing?
What are you up to?
Get out of my way. This is important.
You've been with Lizzie. You mess with her, I'll knock your bloody block off,
I
son.
need to track the pattern. It's critical.
What are you talking about, Stephen? People are sick. Birds are dying. My cows are dead. Where's Kate?
Still up at the tower for all I know. I could recalibrate the radial coordinates on the primary oscillators. If that holds up...
Stephen, where's Kate? What's going on?
Just keep out of my way!
Well... sometimes it's hard to piece together the information that you get in this game because it's delivered out of order. It's not in any chronological order, so you have to work things out for yourself about when things sort of are placed upon a timeline. I believe that scene's probably set before the scene. Well, that gate doesn't open very far. Set before the scene where Frank found out on the radio what had happened. This is a familiar scene. When I struggled over activating.
You never mentioned anything about them sickening yesterday.
I checked them last night on the way back and they were fine. I woke up this morning and the whole lot had gone. Tell me, Charlie, have you heard any birds today?
Well, I've not really been paying any attention.
That sister of mine reckons they're dropping out the sky all round the Wrekin. And Dr. Wade reckons there's sick folk all over the village.
Meg said not to bother trying to get deliveries out. Set the quarantine in the whole valley. I reckon it's best we just sit it out. It'll all come right, Frank.
This'll all come right.
Yeah, right. I am sorry about your cows, Frank. But when things settle down, they'll see you all right. There's got to be provision for this sort of thing.
You want to listen to the radio more. Things don't seem like they're settling down at all. I tell you, Charlie, something big is happening.
Well, whatever you can say about Frank, he wasn't naive. And he didn't put any blinkers on. At face value, one might assume that he was a bit of a pessimist, dim world view after what happened to him losing Mary and the likes, but I think of him much more as a realist. He's a very, very interesting character.
There you go.
Oh, thanks, Frank. That should get it out of the way. I don't know what happened. It just died on me.
Give it another go.
Oh, I only just put petrol in it as well. Robert's taken the other car into town. I wish he'd get back. He promised me that he'd be back this morning.
You think he's off on another bender?
Oh, I can't police him all the time, Frank. He's not a child.
What's going on, Lizzie?
Nothing.
You're seeing Stephen again, aren't you? You two can't keep pithering on like this. If Robert hasn't already worked it out, he soon will.
Oh, not if he carries on drinking the way he is. Shit. Pardon my French, but bloody freaking thing, why won't it start?
Come on, I'll give you a lift.
It's pretty evident the contrast that he is to Wendy, who was very, very much trying to engineer the situation between Lizzie and Stephen. It's much more realistic. Alright, we can see where we need to go next. The light sprouting over there. There was a radio over here, I believe.
18250. Got the telescope up and running again, but the pattern has burnt itself onto the lens. It's soaking up light and radiation, but not routing it anywhere, so I can only guess that it's using it as an energy source in its attempts to communicate. It needs more power. I wonder if I could boost the reception by using multiple towers.
May not seem very wise what Kate is doing. As I mentioned earlier, that's an aspect I'm not prepared to talk about in this video because I don't want to spoil anything.
Frank! Frank, for God's sake, stop!
Keep back, you bastard. I know what you've done.
Where's Lizzie? Where is she? I've got to find her.
You stay away. Someone's got to warn them. Someone's got to stop it.
You can't stop it. You have to understand. You hate me, I get that. But if we don't do this, it's not just the valley, it's everything, Frank. It's all gone.
You're talking bollocks.
You can't stop it! Jesus!
You take one step closer, I'll bash your bloody skull in, I swear to God.
All right, I'm going. But if you see Lizzie, tell her to get out. There's still time. Please, Frank. For her, not me.
If you're that bloody caring, you can save her yourself.
Don't you get it? I have to stay. Someone has to be here to confirm that everyone is dead.
we are almost to the point where we could end Frank's part. The sound of the air siren that you can hear indicates that his final scene is available. But Frank is actually leading us off in another direction. There is one more scene that he would like us to see, and that I would like to show you also. So I'm going to follow Frank for a moment longer. The lights can sometimes be difficult to follow if they get excited about something that they decide they want to show you. They tend to rush off a little bit into the distance, and it can be tricky to keep up. But well, not necessarily just tricky to keep up, but to see exactly where they've gone.
So he managed to
see
get
how
the
easy it
transfer
is
to
to
the
miss things.
observatory then?
Well, this Catherine woman must have swung it. Now he says they're getting married before they come back. It's typical. Why can't he just wait till he's home?
Are you gonna go?
Goodness, no. It'll be full of her people. I expect they do things differently.
You wanna come in for a cup of tea?
Oh, I don't think so.
For Christ's sake, woman, it's been 8 months. Won't you just come in and talk?
Well, you didn't want to talk when Mary was still alive. You and Charlie Tate out drowning your sorrows when you should have been at home nursing your wife.
You can be a nasty old bird, Wendy Boyles.
Frank Appleton, you come back here and say that again. Our mother always said you were a bad egg. You'll come a cropper, you mark my words.
I'm not sure that it was Frank that was the bad egg, Wendy. You two siblings. This is why I can see how I got so confused about the relationship between these lot, because Stephen's surname is Appleton. Wendy's surname is Boyles. One would assume that, well, you know, she's Frank Appleton's sister. They had the same mother. They, that her maiden name would be Appleton, and her married name would be Boyles. So why isn't Stephen's name Boyles? It still confuses me a little bit, I must admit. I followed that back that way before, but you have to make sure that you follow. Watch where Frank's gone to get back to the windmill very easily. Yeah, so I've been trying to work my head around it myself, but I'm still not quite there. I mean, it's completely possible that that Frank and Wendy might have had the same mother but not the same father or something like that, and so she had a different maiden name to Frank, but it just doesn't explain why Stephen's name is Appleton. It's a little bit confusing. I can just assume, I think, that Stephen chose to take the name Appleton, or that Wendy decided not to use the name Appleton because of falling out with Frank. It's a little bit complicated, but yeah, I can see how I got very easily confused about their relationships, because it's not evident until you get to a certain point within the game what the actual dynamics between them all is. But yeah, Wendy is Frank's biological sister. Frank is Stephen's biological uncle. Estranged, but still biologically related. Right, so yeah, this is the scene that I missed and I was gutted about. Well, you know, as you can see in this game, it's so easy to miss things. And the point at which I realized that I had missed so much, it was Barry and I were having a talk about the game. And I said, you know, I was so gutted about getting up to the windmill and there being nothing there. And he was saying, yeah, I know, nothing at all. I mean, you have found the shotgun and the scene, but nothing at all. And I was like, what? And he was like, you saw the shotgun in the scene, and I was like, no. And that's how we got onto the discussion and the realization that I had missed like so much. So yes, here we are. This is the shotgun to which my beloved referred. Shotgun, the air siren that him and Howard were discussing in an earlier scene. And, Frank's final moment.
My name is Frank Jacob Appleton. And if you're listening to this, then maybe Stephen was right. And by sending the planes, he stopped it all getting worse. It's a beautiful morning. I wasn't there when Mary died. I was too scared. So I went to the pub instead. What will be, Frank, she said. And I just want you to face it with me. And I didn't. But I will now. I will face it with you now, Mary. They're coming.
Definitely one of the most touching moments in the game. Hopefully you can see now why I wanted to come back and show you the two parts that I missed, because yeah, they culminate the characters, those character stories so well, and we saw so much more in this part about who Frank was as a person, and you know, the type of man that he was, a man outwardly seemingly of such strength, who was ultimately quite fallible to his own personal fears, but he found that strength in the end. So incredible. Really incredible. So we and this is how we would have found Wendy. Not Wendy, Lizzie. This is how we would have found Lizzie, had we not rushed ahead. And one thing that I noticed immediately here, I don't want to give away too many spoilers about the parts that are coming up of Lizzie's section, but you may notice that there is more than one light dancing around for Lizzie. There's one big light and one little light, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I will let you deduce what you can from that moment, from that that neat little trick. I missed that the first time through, so I really wanted to point that out to you to make sure that you saw it. and it's indicative of something we will see a little bit further along. So thank you very much for watching this video with me. In the next part we will return to my blind playthrough of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Kimmy, here's your rain. We are about to enter the holiday camp. Here's your rain. See you soon.